What's going on, guys? It is fantasy football playoff season. We are in the thick of it. Hopefully you're on a bye, but if you're watching this show, you probably got some skin in the game today. We're also going to talk a little bit about some player props. But Andrew, you're here with me. How are you doing today, sir?
Great, man. Great. As we were talking about before the show started, off to a hot start in best ball playoffs. So that is thoroughly exciting for me, with old Goff throwing 5 touchdowns last night, Laporta catching 3 of them. That helped me tremendously. I have a bunch of buys this week. So regular, just redraft fantasy dynasty. I've kind of taken a back seat to me this week due to best ball. But yeah, man, overall, pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, man. Probably there's one league that I'm kicking myself on, but most of the leagues I'm good, and thankfully had some bye weeks with some of these guys questionable. So if there was one guy today that could, let's say this guy has a great day or a terrible day, have the biggest influence on your fantasy football playoffs.
That's a good
for
one.
Me, it's easily Brock Purdy for me. I got a whole lot of George Kittle. Brandon Ayuk's my most exposed in all formats, receivers, and so Brock Purdy is it's all on him today for me, and that's not a great feeling.
Man, I think for me, now that I think about it, it's probably going to be Howe, Lamar Jackson, and then their wide receivers. I have a lot of Ravens and Commanders that made my playoffs. So I'm hoping that both those quarterbacks can have nice days, spread the ball around. Everybody eats in those offenses. So we'll see.
Adam, anybody that is most important to you today?
No, I'm just watching. I need a big game out of Rams depth receiver Demarcus Robinson today. We put him in as a high boom bust play because after Thursday night, we were down a bunch after facing Devontae Adams and Jordan Palmer. So that was a rough start to the week for us in that league.
There's been some odd performances. We talked about it before the show. I think anybody that was questioning Goff last night was on the right path as far as, look at his previous production. Look what the Broncos have done to fantasy quarterbacks over the last 5 weeks. And the process was, this guy's a fringe QB1, but with everybody playing, no bye weeks, you're looking pretty good. Well, I want to say everybody playing. I'd say the 16 or 17 healthy starting quarterbacks playing. He was, in the middle of that pack. And he's going to end up probably in the top 3 or 4 this week. We have some major injuries to think about. Tyreek Hill, he looked good coming into the office today. It looked like he's going to have a pregame warm-up. Chris Olave against the Giants, it says they're doubtful that he's going to play, and they do not expect Nico Collins to play. Those are the first couple that I have. Have you guys heard anyone else as far as the injury updates? I know one of the docs will be on here at 11:30.
I haven't heard anything too crazy. I'm just still waiting. That's what it is. We're all just waiting to get that official because we could speculate all we want. Tyreek Hill might not play, but we won't know yet.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Jalen Hurts questionable for Monday night now. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh no.
That would be very not good.
That is the hard part of all of these early games when you get something like that, where I had Jake Browning and Nick Mullins. I didn't start either of them because I have Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy. I could maybe pivot. Maybe I have Joe Flacco on here, but that would hurt. So Shane coming in hot.
It says it's an illness.
Okay.
So I would say barring any further illness, he should probably play, I would imagine. It's probably the stomach bug. I don't know if anybody else's towns have had it, but I feel like everybody and their mother that I know has had a stomach bug. It lasted about 2 days for our household. So hopefully he's fine.
Yeah, I mean,
Shane with the perfect timing with this question. Jalen Hurts or Brock Purdy? We just found it's breaking news to me that he's questionable. So for me to answer that question, if you want to play it safe and go Brock, then I'm totally fine with that. He gets Arizona. He's also inside my top 10 this week. I have Jalen Hurts higher, and I would love to play Jalen Hurts, but I would really hate to tell you to go Jalen Hurts and then you are quarterbackless.
It depends on how comfortable you are with a late emergency pivot to Marcus Mariota.
I was going to ask the exact same question.
If you have Jalen Hurts, you need to go pick up Marcus Mariota right now. Yes. And I'm staring at this in a league where I'm thinking about, do I want to do that? Or do I want to activate Sam Howell off my taxi squad?
The other person to look at, it sounds like Geno Smith is trending towards playing, but if Drew Lock is available, that would be your other pivot option if Drew Lock ended up playing. But again, it sounds like Geno is trending towards playing.
All right, so there we have it. We're sticking with Hurts, but you might consider putting Brock in. What about this one, guys? Thinking about quarterbacks, Brock Purdy at Arizona or Dak Prescott at Buffalo. Both guys have favorable matchups. Who are we leaning? Which one we liking a little bit better?
I have Dak slightly higher, 2 spots higher in my rankings, so it's not a big difference, but I would go Dak.
Hold on, let me check the weather in Buffalo because that's really gonna change my mind here. So currently for today, 48, high of 48, 0% participation, but 17-mile-per-hour steady winds, gust up to 23. So not great on the wind. I'm probably gonna go Purdy, to be honest. I would love to go Dak. If it was in Dallas, I would definitely go Dak all day. But with that weather, the wind kind of scares me a little bit. So I'm probably gonna go Purdy.
Yeah, I think I'm sticking with Purdy here just because I do also think with Cooks banged up and, Dak might not be able to have his full complement of weapons, and that Buffalo defense can cause some turnover issues in the secondary. The secondary isn't great. They can be picked apart, but if you're not careful and you make some bad throws, which Dak can, they can take advantage of that really quickly. So go with Purdy against Arizona. He carved him up earlier this year for 271 and the offense hung 35 on them. So that feels like the safer play. Stuck with the flex this week, James Conner, Chuba Hubbard, Odell Beckham, Keaton Mitchell, or Jackson Smith-Njigba. Who you got?
I'll let you guys go first because this is my buddy. I told him to hop in here and ask you guys as well. So I'll let you guys go.
I'm looking up what Hubbard's done the last few weeks, and it's been pretty safe. I have Hubbard higher than Connor, just like the usage that he's getting. He had 78% of snaps last week, which was higher than the last couple of weeks. I know he was dealing with something, but 20 points, 22 points, and 11 points. You're looking at a combined 48 rushing attempts in the last 2 weeks. I'm gonna go with I'm going with Hubbard as well. Connor close second.
Yeah, you got to stick with the high level production. I mean, Hubbard's just been so involved. 100 yards 2 weeks ago, 87 last week. He's just getting the ball consistently, and like Dave said, 25 and 23 touches the last 2 weeks. Connor, though, did get up to 25 last week against Pittsburgh, but against the 49ers, they're most likely going to be down. They're going to have to throw the ball. Give me Hubbard in the game script. My second would probably be Keaton Mitchell over Connor, actually, just because I think the game script is really going to be against Connor this week.
Yeah, I mean, I told him it was Keaton Mitchell for me as well. I just like the matchup for him, though Keaton Mitchell did have a down week last week as far as opportunities. So that does kind of suck a little bit. I like the matchup for Keaton Mitchell. You guys do bring up good points about Hubbard, though. the opportunities that he's getting now that I'm looking at it all is pretty high level. I don't love the matchup for him. The matchup against the Falcons is not good. They're the third best in the NFL stopping the run, but it might just be a good pure volume play. So Kyle, good luck, buddy. It looks like it's between Hubbard and Mitchell, so hopefully you make the right call.
All right, got another one here for you. Zay Flowers or Devin Singletary? Who are we going with this week?
Damn, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go Flowers just because I like the high upside here. But if you're in a safe spot where you only need just some points and not a ceiling case, I would consider Singletary. He was the only one that scored last week for him. I like with Nico Collins out, no Stroud. They're probably going to be playing from behind a little bit here, and I like Singletary to have more opportunities in this game. So I'll go with Flowers if you need a high upside, but safe floor Singletary.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Flowers. He's been a little bit of a heater with scoring touchdowns here of late. And this, Houston Texans offense without CJ Stroud is just not going to be as good as it was. Case Keenum, I know we've seen some veteran quarterbacks come out and play, competent ball, and he's had some good streaks in his history. But this offense is not going to be the same without him, without Tank, without Nico Collins. So low scoring opportunities, and it's full PPR. Give me Flowers.
Yeah, Zay Flowers has been good. He has that big play upside. Devin Singletary, maybe his workload gets up there. When he gets above 15 touches a game, he's great. If he's under that, he's awful. It's that simple. He could have 14 and he's going to have a bad week. As soon as he crosses that 15 touch threshold, it's a good week. And that's just where he's at right now. So give me Flowers. You want that upside. You want that ceiling, especially out of your flex. Your flex is where you're really trying to roll the dice and get that high upside play. You're not looking necessarily for a floor. I'm all about chasing that ceiling in my flex. All right. At Chain questionable. Stick with him or roll McBride and Zay Jones in the flex.
If he plays, I'm playing him. If not, McBride is my choice here. So just stay tuned. We'll know more, in 15, 20 minutes. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, I want At Chain unless, honestly, I want McBride in my lineup too. I want to know who your tight end one is that you're not playing Trey McBride. Because
maybe it's a no tight end league.
Maybe it's a no tight end. Why would you? No tight end. Golly, people play some weird formats. No tight end, no kicker, no defense. Oh, Kelsey's his tight end one. Okay, that's the one. That's the one where I'd say okay.
That makes sense. Oh man. It's probably Zay Jones for me. I think that they probably see similar targets. Maybe McBride sees a couple more. Zay Jones, I think, is just a little bit more of a kind of a boomer bust kind of guy than McBride. McBride's probably just going to be middle of the road. So it really depends. Again, I would look at your situation, against your opponent. Do you need more points? Do you need a safe floor? Safe floor to me feels like McBride. Zay Jones feels like the ceiling case here. But Zay Jones, obviously with Christian Kirk out is going to see a lot more opportunities. So I do like Zay Jones in this matchup, but McBride is hard to turn down. So look at your situation, take it case by case, and just kind of see, how many points you think you're probably going to need in your matchup.
Yeah. All right. Justin Fields or Sam Howell this week? Where are we going with this one?
Oh, Jesus criminy. Sam Howell. Oh, man.
I'm going with Sam Howell. It would, help a little bit if there's some 6-point versus 4-point, because Howell, I do think, is in line for a lot of production. He can do a little bit of rushing. Fields obviously is the one that can blow it out of the water. But it is Cleveland, and I don't think they're going to have a great time through the air, and DJ Moore is questionable.
I think it's it with that second part, Dave. It's DJ Moore questionable. I don't want to go with Justin Fields then just because DJ Moore is questionable without his top receiver. That's going to be a tough day for him. I do think that means you're going to fire up a lot of Cole Kmet. But the thing that he's been really good at lately is hitting DJ Moore on something short or intermediate and just letting him make plays with his explosive athleticism. So losing that, I don't know that I want to go with Justin Fields this week. And Sam Howell had some down weeks the last 2 weeks, no touchdowns either of the last 2 weeks, 2 picks. And this has been a rough stretch for him the last 3 weeks, but he's played 3 tough defenses. He's played the Giants, he's played Dallas, and he's played Miami. Those defenses are going to get after a young quarterback and make it difficult because they're blitz early, blitz happy. Now coming in against the Rams have been less potent against defenses. And even with no touchdowns against Dallas, he still threw for 300 yards. So give me Howell this week. I think it's clear in all formats that I want Sam Howell this week. I just don't think Justin Fields has the upside through the air without DJ Moore this week.
This so to me, they're very close, but this comes down to the weather factor. Just looking at it right now in Cleveland, they're calling for high of 45, precipitation 60% chance of rain, wind 18 miles per hour steady with gusts up to 24. Again, I know Fields is going to run the ball, so that'll help him. But yeah, I'm with you guys. Like, I'm going to go Howell. He's going to get enough opportunity. It's in a dome against the Rams. This game will probably be higher scoring in my eyes. So yeah, I'm going to go Howell as well.
There we go. All right, next one. Pick 2, half-point PPR. Brandon Cooks, Hollywood Brown, Raheed Shaheed, or Jerick McKinnon.
Yeah, this all comes down to the health. I don't think this is a Jerick McKinnon game. Who knows? He was the goal line back last week, but I don't think they're going to be trailing and using him in, comeback type of offenses. That when they're trying to do 2-minute or 4-minute offenses. Marquise Brown is the lock for me, and then I'll go Brandon Cooks, but it all depends on where he's at as far as his status, because he's questionable. Marquise Brown and Cooks.
Yeah, Cooks is coming back off of illness. I'm always hesitant to start a guy coming off an illness. So give me Hollywood Brown and Rashid Shaheed this week. I think Hollywood Brown in a shootout for the Cardinals is going to get a lot of work. We talked about that Arizona playing the 49ers. They're going to be playing from behind. And Rashid Shaheed, you can't ever leave this guy on the bench. I mean, in your flex, that's a guy who could go for 3 catches, 200 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Just, sleepwalk to that.
Oh, man. So my gut tells me Shaheed and McKinnon. My head tells me Shaheed and Cooks. I don't want anything to do with Marquise Brown, to be honest with you. I just don't like Marquise Brown. Let me look at the weather here.
What don't you like about Marquise Brown? I'm genuinely curious now. This sounds like there's some personal animosity. Andrew, did he take a table from you at a restaurant, or?
Nah, he reminds me of Michael Thomas. Just doesn't look like he plays with 100% heart out on the field. I want nothing to do with any of those fucks. I don't know. He just doesn't look like he cares a whole lot. Maybe it's just because it's a losing season for them. I don't know. Just when I see him out there, it just doesn't look like he's giving 100%. I don't want anything to do with that in my lineups. Brandon Cooks has been, much better recently. Obviously, Rashid Shaheed with Chris Olave out. I like that a lot. And I do like McKinnon, too. I think they are going to keep it close to the vest. The weather is a factor here in New England. There's 0% chance of rain, winds 10 to 20 miles an hour, 47, high of 47. So the weather with the wind factor, again, they may want to keep it close to the vest and not throw it too far downfield. That's going to help the McKinnon case. So I don't know, gun to my head. You know what? I'm going to go, I'll go Shaheed and McKinnon.
All right. So we got not a lot of help there for folks, a classic split, but it's good. It's good. All right. 2 running backs, Zeke, Gibson, Etienne, Breece Hall ran into Jared Goff last night. Woof.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it earlier. Jared Goff absolutely went off last night. Just absolutely dominating.
Yeah. For this, I'm going to go Zeke and ETN. Breece is just on a really bad offense, and I just have a really hard time trusting what they're going to do with Gibson. Chris Rodriguez, they like him a lot. He could be more in the Brian Robinson role, and Gibson does. Like, he's been great as far as like PPR and getting some of that action. But he's just, I mean, I think he's had over 40 yards this year on the ground. He's not getting enough. And then, he's not getting enough action as far as the goal line work.
There we go. Andrew, what you thinking?
Good question. I'm just looking at my rankings here. I'm gonna go with Zeke and Brees. I think that those two guys touch the ball more than any of these other guys. It's going to be a full workload for Zeke. Again, the weather's going to potentially be a factor there. That game may not get out of hand until later. And I like, Brees' opportunities are solid, whether they're behind or whether they're leading. So I'll take Brees and Zeke.
Question on Brees. So I'm looking on Underdog, and he's not listed for any props right now. I know he was questionable coming into the game. Does anyone have any updates on that?
No, I haven't seen anything yet. But if he's not listed, I want nothing to do with that. Then I'm going to go Zeke and ETN, just because I think Zeke in a bad weather game for New England, that is why Bill Belichick went and brought in Ezekiel Elliott, was so that way he can eat up short yardage in those games. He's been heavily involved. They've been getting him more and more involved as the season's gone along. I mean, did anybody think that Ezekiel Elliott would be closing in on 500 yards this season? And he hasn't had a touchdown in 6 weeks, but his touches and rushes are all up. So give me Ezekiel Elliott. I think he's going to find the end zone tonight. And give me Travis Etienne, because I need a big play threat. If I'm down big, I need a big play threat. And ETN is that guy, especially if Brees Hall is potentially banged up. And if there's no plays available on Underdog, I'm really avoiding that then. That's that's a great indicator right there.
The last update about him is it says that he is good to go against Miami. So unless there was a setback because this was last night that they put this out. So unless there was a setback, he should be fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll wait for the doc to come on and we'll get into that. Matt Stafford or Jordan Love tonight? Who we like?
Stafford, 1,000% in my eyes. Yeah, I do like both of them, but I've seen Washington get just fucking obliterated week after week after week. Puka and Kupp are both going to go for 100 plus, get touchdowns. I'm sorry, Kyron managers, but it's the Puka and Kupp show today with Stafford. Stafford's going to murder the Commanders. Sorry, I digress.
Yeah, in my
Andrew's
rankings
trying
article,
to reverse Jinx's team.
Yeah, he is. I have Stafford and Love as my 2 starts of the week. I love their matchups. I'm playing anybody who's playing against Tampa, and from the quarterback standpoint, but I do have Stafford higher. I have Stafford at QB5 this week. I really love the matchup. I think it's going to be a high pace of play game. You can see this thing get over 50 points, which means a ton of fantasy production. And so give me Stafford.
These two guys are awesome plays on Underdog if you're playing in any of the battle royales. Both these guys, awesome plays. Stafford's the one getting drafted more than Love, but I have a few Love teams as well, because this is how you beat the Bucks, is through the air. And obviously, no AJ Dillon today. You got Aaron Jones in, but I like, Dobbs and Jaden Reed today should have big games. So yeah, I love this play on Underdog, just for anyone listening. If you haven't signed up for Underdog, code SGPN.
Are they? Deposit. Is that in Green Bay or is that in Tampa?
In Tampa.
In Green Bay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Green Bay. What did I say? Tampa.
Jordan Love currently has a higher spicy play for fumbles of 0.5. Like, am I the only one crazy for thinking that's one of the easier spicy plays I've seen in a while in the cold in Green Bay?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that just that feels easy. I mean, if I could play 2 things on Jordan Love, I'd play that, and I'd play his fantasy points, because they're only at 16.8. That feels criminally low. Criminally low. Oh.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Beautiful. 40 degrees, cloudy, and 9-mile-per-hour winds. There we go. AJ Dillon's now out. Oh, boy. All right, next one. Pick 2 for each. Debo, Amari Cooper, Romeo Dobbs, or Jerome, and then at running back, Jerome Ford, Deonta Foreman, and Aaron Jones. How are we feeling about this one?
Yeah, I'm going Debo and Amari. I know I like Dobbs against the Tampa Bay, but Amari got 14 targets last week. He had 39% of the targets before he got injured the week before. Joe Flacco loves him, and they're playing at home, so he's better at home, about double the production. And then give me Ford and Jones for the other side.
I'll take Debo and Dobbs and Ford and Jones.
Why you liking Dobbs over Amari?
Better matchup for him. I mean, I think that they see probably similar opportunities. Again, like Joe Flacco locked on to David Njoku. I think that that's probably what we're going to see more often than we see, Amari and Flacco connect here. So yeah, I like the matchup is much better for Dobbs, in my opinion. So again, it just comes down to matchups, and I don't think their opportunities are that far apart.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just thinking about this, and Dobbs has been kind of up and down, and Dobbs still has it. His high game on the year is 95 yards receiving. You're hoping he finds the end zone, and I'd rather have the consistent production of Amari Cooper. So I'm leaning into Debo and Amari because Joe Flacco has been just pounding those throws, and I think that that's going to be a better one. And then looking the other way, give me Jerome Ford and Aaron Jones. AJ Dillon sounds like he's going to be out today, so I think that means Aaron Jones is going to be good to go. But I'm monitoring who even is the Packers' third string running back right now.
It's well, they got Kenyon Drake. They just signed off the practice squad, but Patrick Taylor, he got the action last week, so it'd be Patrick Taylor and Aaron Jones with some Kenyon Drake mixed in there.
Is Aaron Jones injured too? I know Aaron Jones is injured, but is he going to play?
Yeah, Aaron Jones
expected to play.
Yeah, he's expected to play. That's what they were saying last night.
So yeah, I'm picking up Taylor Patrick and just making sure that I'm good. That makes me nervous. So, all right.
Making Bacon, friend of the program.
Making Bacon joining us from New Zealand. Odell Beckham today or Flowers?
I mean, it has to be Flowers.
Yeah. I mean, Odell Beckham he's not the guy he once was. He's a name now.
Yeah. It's Flowers for me.
Dave, what about you?
Yeah, I'm big on Flowers today.
Yeah, Flowers has just been, he's the electric playmaker. He's the guy they're trying to get the ball to. If they can't get it to him, then they're going to Odell Beckham. I mean, Beckham has had big weeks, 2 of the past 3. He went over 100 against Cincinnati, and then he had 97 last week, but he did that on 4 catches on 10 targets, which is, highly inefficient. Say Flowers being far more efficient with his targets. Give me the guy who's just been better week in and week out. All right. Now we got another one. Chris Rodriguez or Zach Charbonnet. How are we going with that one, boys?
Yeah, this is a really, really interesting one. I'm going to go with Chris Rodriguez here. I think there's a ton of points in that game, and I like the matchup better. Aaron Donald potentially could miss this one. And with Charbonnet going against that Eagles front, with Ken Walker being the lead dog, I'm going to go.
I didn't think Brian Robinson was out yet. Is he out?
Yeah, he's out now.
He's out.
Mm-hmm.
What about Gibson? Yeah. God,
it's Charbonnet for me. I just like Charbonnet better than I do Rodriguez. And I've seen Rodriguez play. I watched him obviously all off season as well. Play the third string role here, so I know kind of what to expect from Rodriguez a little bit. I think we are going to see Gibson carry a bulk of the workload. Chris Rodriguez though is pretty decent, but I'll just take Charbonnet. I think that he's just a much better player.
Yeah, I mean that's bad and worse in my mind. Charbonnet has been a little bit more involved regardless, but you do have that awkward waiting until Monday night thing going on. But I think you got to go Charbonnet. That just feels like the right play. You know, I can't go with Chris Rodriguez. That'd be painfully bad. All right.
Tyreek Hill is out.
Oh,
Tyreek Hill is out. Both the Dolphins starting safeties are out. Who is ready for a Week 18 AFC East Division Championship game? It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Hurts or Stroud? We feel for you, Stephen Williams.
Yeah, I mean that it's obviously Hurts. It can't be Stroud. Stroud's out.
Jaden Reed rushing and receiving. Good luck. Like that. Jaden Reed is a great one to play. Jaden Reed has been involved lately, and that's been really nice to see.
Yeah, I love the involvement. His props are a little tough because his projection on underdog is more than he's actually had all season as far as receiving. And, you know, we can be a little perceived about how productive he's been because he's done a lot of it on the ground and a lot of it in the end zone. And he's been great. And so if you can do rushing plus receiving, I love the higher on that. And then if you can just do the fantasy points to make sure you collect it all, because this guy he's a weapon. They call him the Wisconsin Debo.
So are you attacking him higher, lower on fantasy points? Or are you going to take his spicy higher on touchdowns, rushing, receiving?
I'm going to take the fantasy points just because I can get it all.
What about you, Andrew? You going higher 9.75 fantasy points or higher 0.5 rushing and receiving touchdowns with the spicy play?
What'd you say the fantasy points is?
9.75.
Yeah, I'll take the fantasy points for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that feels like free. It feels like free. It feels like a free cash right there. Oh boy, we got lots of stuff. Devin Etienne active. Tyreek Hill out. Olave out. Do I start McKinnon or Godwin? Anyone worth a flyer? What do we think here?
Godwin has just been so bad. It's been really rough. I know that they've tried to connect on some big ones. It feels like they're just using him a lot differently this year. Like when they throw it deep, I always expect Mike Evans to pop up on the screen, and I'm like why are they throwing it deep to Chris Godwin? And he's been really, really bad this year. I'm gonna go McKinnon.
I mean, yeah, Andrew, what do you think about this?
Yeah, man, I really want to go Godwin here, but I mean, you know, Dave just talked about it. Like, it's so hard to trust Godwin. I don't think it's any easier to trust McKinnon personally, but again, weather's probably going to be a factor in that game a little bit. Unless that game gets out of hand, I don't think McKinnon, you know, that we won't see him. So, man,
I'm gonna read off the points for Godwin: 7.8, 7.9, 6, 6.9, 7.4. 2.6. That's his last 7 weeks or 6 weeks. 6 weeks.
I mean,
yeah,
Godwin's getting targets, but for whatever reason, he isn't converting them. And I don't know if that's a Baker problem or a Godwin problem, because Godwin's had, 3 weeks with double-digit targets, but he's only broken 100 yards once on the season, and he only has one receiving touchdown. So it feels like no Juju Smith-Schuster or Trent Brown today for New England. Everybody's hurt today. Everybody banged up. Everybody sick. Cool. So McKinnon scares me just because they could decide to go to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's that fourth back out there in Kansas City that got some work.
Deneric Prince.
Yeah, Deneric Prince. Like, it's Andy Reid. If Isaiah Pacheco isn't going, who cares about who he's going to roll with? He's going to roll with whoever he feels like. He's probably got a dice right there, and he's just rolling it, and it's got names. It's got the three guys' names over there. So give me Godwin. I feel like Godwin has a game in him, and I keep waiting. So let's go with that. Making Bacon, Olave out, could be a Rashid game if Carr isn't ruining his mascara. That nails it right there.
It does say running his mascara.
Running, I think he meant ruining, but I
if he's crying, then his mascara will be running.
Nah, I took that. That's why I thought, Who else do the Saints have? A.T. Perry? Are you going to play A.T. Perry this week?
No.
Yeah, it sounds like a big Taysom Hill and Alvin Kamara week.
Lynn Bowden Jr., he going to get some run?
He got quite a bit of run last week.
Lynn Bowden is like like I had Lynn Bowden for longer than I care to admit on my roster in a league because I kept thinking he was going to be the slot receiver. He was going to be the next great quarterback to wide receiver, slot receiver, and it just never happened.
He was the rare guy that gets drafted and traded before the season even starts. It was
like how much, but that was from the Raiders. That doesn't count. That Raiders team was a dumpster fire. Just remember the whole Antonio Brown saga.
Right.
This was prior to Antonio Brown running an Arena League team into the ground. You know, this was his when he was still a football player era.
Yeah, I'm moving Shaheed up a little bit, but I'm not moving him into my top 24. He's a flex play. With so many, there's just you should have better options.
Oh God, what is Kamara's? Oh, that's gotten high. Oh no, they don't. Underdog took down their Kamara rushing, receiving. It's now 97.5 rushing plus receiving yards. So they're doing that. Dobbs in for Olave.
Yep.
How y'all feel about that one? I think that's clear.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yep.
Benedict Dantled. Douglas is available in my league. Is he better than Godwin or McKinnon? If that's DeMario Douglas?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would say. Oh, really? You say yeah?
Yes.
I say no. I'm not trusting fucking New England's passing offense.
You don't believe in the second coming of Tom Brady, our Lord and Savior, Bailey Zappi?
Absolutely not. And Kansas City's defense is top 6 in both run and pass defense. I mean, I'm not starting DeMario Douglas. Sorry.
I mean,
we're
going to be down. He's got to throw to somebody.
Yeah,
Hunter Henry's there.
Yeah, Douglas getting over 7 getting higher than 7 targets, which is what it's currently at, is definitely big for me. What does he do with it? I don't know. I would I'll take the upside and Godwin. It sounds crazy because Godwin should have huge upside, but he's literally done nothing, and so I'm okay with it. I don't like any of these options, in all honesty.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like DeMario Douglas. I've talked myself into it now. Oh, DJ Moore healthy. There we go. DJ Moore healthy today. That's big. That's good. That's good. But I'm going to go crazy. Give me DeMario Douglas. You know, he's leading that team in targets currently, despite having only played in 10 games. So, you know, even with the joy for Hunter Henry, DeMario Douglas has been the dude. So still waiting for the Jamal Williams comeback game to rest Kamara. Don't think that's going to happen. Christian Watson is out now too. Oh boy. The hits keep coming and they don't stop coming. Cedric Wilson with Tyreek Hill out. Have Hollywood Brown and Nico Collins. Do I play Brown, Collins, or pick up Wilson?
Well, can't play Nico Collins.
Can't play Nico Collins. Can't play Nico Collins. I don't.
I mean, wait, pick up Wilson. Oh, Cedric Wilson. I mean, I'll take Brown. I hate that, but I'll take him.
I mean, am I crazy to think that I actually want more Braxton Berrios than Cedric Wilson?
I mean, yeah.
Do we get a Chase Claypool game?
Oh my God!
Do we get a Chase Claypool game? Chase Claypool game is.
I think
Chase Claypool is listed as Tyreek Hill's backup, technically.
I think you get Jalen Waddle, big game from him, but you also are going to have just a lot of Mostert and Achane, and you could also see Jeff Wilson. They're going to run the crap out of the ball without Tyreek there. I'm going Marquise.
Yeah, if I'm going to Dolphins wide receiver, I'm going Braxton Berrios before I go Cedric Wilson, if I'm being honest.
I mean, I'd rather play Logan Thomas than Cedric Wilson. That's where Cedric Wilson is in my playbook. Way down the list.
Yeah, look for tight ends. Tight ends have a
Yes.
much better chance of scoring a random TD than somebody like a Braxton Berrios or Cedric Wilson.
Yeah, I mean,
I like
on
that.
on your waiver wire, what you could probably find maybe Logan Thomas, Tucker Kraft potentially as well. He could have a game. Higbee, obviously, maybe Hunter Henry or Kate Otten.
Cade
Like, I'd rather
Otton.
play any of those guys. Yes.
Update: Underdog took down all of the Tua plays upon this Hill news. The only one you can get is higher or lower 1.5 sacks taken.
Uh,
I'm gonna be honest, that feels like a higher play because we saw him last week when Hill was out and Hill was limited. How bad did he look when
Very
he
bad.
had no options?
He also looked like he couldn't stand on his own 2 feet. He was slipping and sliding all around like he had fucking ice skates on. Like, Tua, what are you doing, man? Just stay upright.
I mean, the knock on him coming out of college was he has bad footwork when the pocket isn't clean. And there were so few tape reps of that Alabama that you couldn't see it. And now as you watch in the pros, there are times where you watch his feet as he's dropping back, and it's like, it seems like he's not comfortable when there's pressure. It's that simple. When you start to get to him, he is more uncomfortable than your average NFL quarterback. And it's painful at times. Trevor bringing in a great question here. Rashi Rice, Garrett Wilson, or Zay Flowers?
He's got Puka, Rice, and Wilson starting currently, so it really sounds like which combo. Puka's locked in there, and so it's going to be Rice, Wilson, or Rice and Flowers, or Wilson, Flowers. And for me, currently, I have it as Wilson and Rice, the way he has it.
We're presuming that's Garrett Wilson, correct?
I hope it's not Cedric Wilson.
Oh, I was gonna say, it's like
Trevor, if it's Cedric Wilson, don't play Cedric Wilson. We cannot condone any Cedric Wilson plays.
I'll take Puka, Flowers, and Wilson.
Give me Puka, Rice, and Wilson. I think Rashi Rice is in the middle of a good stretch right now. He quieted down the past couple weeks. But I just Garrett Wilson feels like he could have a week, especially with both Dolphins safeties out. And I think I saw Xavier Howard's out. The Dolphins are absolutely decimated. Sebastian, have you gotten a call from the Dolphins yet to play corner? Because it feels like that's where we're about to be.
Good morning, gentlemen. First, cheers. Good morning. Welcome to the playoffs, gentlemen. Like you hit it on net. I'm gonna go ahead and just co-sign on what you guys said. Xavier Howard is out. Javon Holland's out. Obviously, Tyreek Hill is out. Right. So, Garrett Wilson seems like Zach Wilson. That's his guy. So I like Rice and Wilson there over Flowers. I do like the Ravens in general tonight, but I think, OBJ's coming on and Flowers may not get all that.
Yeah, and you can't sit Rashi Rice right now. 10 targets against Vegas, 9 against Green Bay, 10 against Buffalo. He's catching he's catching close to 80% of his passes, and he has 2 touchdowns. He looks like the number 1 receiver that the Chiefs have been looking for since Tyreek Hill walked and went to Miami. So, Sebastian, what are some other injuries that you're keeping an eye on today?
Yeah, obviously I see we got the inactives in the chat. So really quickly, the guys that just got ruled out there, Tyreek Hill's obviously your big one. Chris Olave as well. That was trending that direction. It kind of was a game time decision. Nico Collins, we kind of knew that one coming in. AJ Dillon is going to be out as well. Christian Watson, he was already kind of ruled out a little bit before. But some other guys that are going to play, it looks like, but are more banged up. We can start with Green Bay Packers running back Aaron Jones coming back from that MCL injury. So that medial collateral ligament. That's actually one of the ligaments. If you're going to injure a ligament in the knee, that's probably the best one because it's got the best healing potential. So he looks like he's going to give it to go after being limited in practice. For me, less the injury and more so, I just can't trust Green Bay and what they're going to do with Aaron Jones. I know there's no AJ Dillon. He just has not looked the same this year. He already dealt with the hamstring. I think it's a situation where, he does have the advantage of, I believe Vita Vea is out. Devin White is out for the Tampa Bay Bucks. I just have lost faith in trusting him. Less scared about the injury, more scared about, the player and if he's going to survive the whole game. So I'd love to see where you guys' heads is at as far as Aaron Jones there.
Yeah, and I'm always skeptical on Aaron Jones because he can be such a boomer bust guy. Last time he came back from injury, he let us down. And so I have him as a back end, actually a low end RB3 this week. I have him at RB27.
Yeah. I mean, I'm okay starting Aaron Jones. I guess, the way to attack the Bucks is through the air. So like I'm more on the passing side of everything, Love, Reed, Dobbs. I'd rather take all them guys over Aaron Jones, but push comes to shove. I mean, how many more opportunity or how many more players are you going to be able to find the waiver wire if you don't want to start Aaron Jones, depending on what your backups look like. So I think Aaron Jones is a fine play. I would just prefer to have the lineup of, Love, Reed, Dobbs, like in my lineup personally, but
yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think I'm starting Zeke over him in my one league because
yes,
I kind
I
of
would
like
do
what
that.
Zeke's been doing, right? But yeah, it's one of those situations. It's a little bit dependent. Let's see here. Some other guys banged up. I think really a lot of the guys coming in. Go ahead. We got
Oh, I was
somebody.
gonna say, so what do you think about Achane? He's good to go,
Yes.
but like what should we expect from that? Because I mean, if people have Mostert, like they're expecting Mostert to have a pretty good day. Is Achane gonna ruin that, or are we gonna see maybe around 10 touches for him? They just want to kind of keep him safe, or what's your outlook?
Yeah, I'm definitely more of a Mostert guy this week. As far as Achane goes, it's likely a turf toe. It's one of those that is really a lingering injury. It's kind of just nagging. It's really annoying every time you push off. So I think that they're gonna pound the rock this week. I mean, obviously the Jets secondary is pretty damn good. We'll see. So I definitely like Mostert better. I think that they may protect Achane a little bit, but at this point, I mean, it's one of those things where they're kind of running out of playmakers to really, how much can you conserve at this point, right? I know they got a little bit of a lead on that division, but the Bills are right there now, so you're not really trying to waste any games. I don't love Achane, but it's one of those things where he's so explosive. It's kind of a boomer bust play, right? You may get something that he busts, but he may have 10, 15 carries for 50 yards. So you just got to learn, kind of be willing to live with that.
They're missing 3 offensive linemen, also 3 from the secondary, but Robert Hunt, Connor Williams, the right guard and center are out, and then the right tackle Isaiah Wynn is out. So
this feels like Miami is lining up to lose this game in a very big way today.
I bet the Jets on Thursday to beat them. So got definitely better closing line value on that for sure.
Jets money line is probably off the charts. And if you took the Jets and the points, good job. You're going to be in a fantastic boat.
I took the Jet. I took the New York money line there. I took the Jets, the Bills, and the Giants all to win.
So you took the New York plus New Jersey money line. I got you. I like it.
I got to get DeVito in there. I mean, hey, you guys got more faith in Zach Wilson than I do. I still think Miami could pull it off, but you're right. I mean, they're missing a lot up front. So
it's not faith in Zach Wilson. It's faith in the New York Jets defense to want to make up for being absolutely embarrassed on Black Friday. Like this is a Jets defense that's going to be coming in with a chip on their shoulder. They're going to know that Tua doesn't have Tyreek Hill, who embarrassed them. So now they're going to embarrass Tua. Like, that's just it. This Jets defense is really good. It's really good.
They're studs.
Doc, what do you think of DJ Moore?
Oh, I love DJ Moore this week. Yeah, I think it was one of those, mild low ankle sprains, similar to what Jamar Chase was dealing with, obviously, before Jamar Chase separated his shoulder yesterday. But yeah, DJ Moore, he was limited, but he's going to play. I think it was always kind of expected he was going to play. And I really like that matchup, talking about secondaries being beat up. Cleveland, 3 out of their 4 starting secondary is going to be out. So I think that's an opportunity where DJ Moore is the Chicago passing offense. So I like DJ Moore this week. I'm pretty high on him. I saw we did something about Darren Waller or David Njoku. Waller for me, coming off that hamstring, it's already one of those things where it's going to be a little limited. It's going to be kind of on a snap count deal. I'm excited for the future, but just not this week for Waller. I don't think he's going to get the volume. I do, assuming he, knock on wood as a Giants fan, can get out of this game healthy. I do like Waller, potentially next week. I just think it's a little bit soon to be throwing him out there in your lineup. I would go Njoku there.
Yeah. All right. Romeo Dobbs or Zay Flowers? How are we feeling about this one, gentlemen?
God dang it. I really like Dobbs, man. I just don't want to go against my boy Flowers. Damn it. Is this PPR? Is it PPR, half PPR, standard? Because that's going to change my mind, to be honest. So if you guys want to go, Steven, is it PPR, half PPR, or standard?
Sebastian, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, in a similar boat, I do like both guys this week. I like both offenses, both passing offenses as well. Jaguars are missing some people in their secondary, and they've just sucked. They've given up, 3 straight 300 pass yards. I'd probably go Dobbs because I like him to get a touchdown over Flowers, I would say. I know Jaden Reed I also like as well, but that Bucs secondary in the same boat. They're missing Carlton Davis. They're missing Devin White. They're missing Ryan Neal. Like, those are big players in that defense that they already kind of suck coming in. So give me Dobbs, but I do like both.
Now knowing it's standard, I will take Flowers. I think Flowers just has a higher upside for long yardage. I think Dobbs probably sees more catches come his way, but I'm not sure they're going to be high volume ones like Zay Flowers should get. So that's going to lead me to Zay Flowers.
Yeah, I got Zay Flowers.
Yeah, it's clearly Zay Flowers for me. I just think that he's the better player. He has the better quarterback right now, and he's the guy who gets more heavily involved week in and week out. It's Zay Flowers, hand down for me. All right, next, Devin Atchain, Chuba Hubbard, Jerome Ford, Calvin Ridley. Raheem Mostert is the RB1.
We got one out of that. For me, it's between Hubbard and Ford. I kind of automatically eliminate Ridley and A-Chain. Again, A-Chain just with the limited snaps in the matchup. Calvin Ridley, when they decide to, that Ravens secondary is pretty damn good. I still don't know without Christian Kirk. I think that offense still isn't right. I really like what Chuba Hubbard's doing. It's just really hard to put stock in that Panthers offense. I think that game's going to be super ugly. They're calling for weather there. I think they could get Chuba Hubbard like 20 to 25 carries, but in the same sense, Jerome Ford may pull that off.
Are the Panthers at home this week?
What is it?
Are the Panthers at home?
Yeah, I believe they're at home because Atlanta would be in the dome.
Yeah,
rainy, cold, miserable all day. That's the forecast for Charlotte today.
Yeah, I mean that's run the ball, right? Damn. Give me Ford just because he's a better offense overall.
Yeah,
Dave, what about you?
And Hubbard's Canadian, so this weather's not going to affect him at all. This is a really tough one. I think you're going to be really happy with Mostert this week, we have some concerns with the Dolphins' offense this week. So I'm going to go with Hubbard. Trust the rankings on this one.
Yeah,
I will take Jerome Ford. Just think he has the most high value touches here over Hubbard. Ridley going against a pretty good secondary, and I'm not going to put A-Chan in. I just can't trust that he's. You know what's going to happen? We all say that, and then A-Chan's going to have like 3 touchdowns. That's exactly what's going to happen. I'll take Ford.
He's going to get 5 snaps, 3 touchdowns, 200.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me Hubbard. Give me the guy who's born into the cold and misery to have a good game in the cold and the misery. So, any other quick parting thoughts before we get into our underdog entry for the week?
Did
we talk
everybody that checked in?
Yeah, did we talk any like waiver wire guys you could pick up? I'm assuming y'all probably hit on those guys before, right?
Here and there.
Yeah, sporadically. All right, underdog plays. Who we liking? Andrew, start us off.
I'm trying to think here. Touchdowns. Derrick Henry, touchdown.
Derrick Henry, touchdown. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I know we didn't like say it out loud, but doesn't Derrick Henry just absolutely obliterate the Texans every time he plays them?
I do not see a Derrick Henry touchdown play.
What the? See, that's
you probably have to get
square.
it up to 2 touchdowns to play.
God. All right, what do we got for? How do you guys want to play the Rams here again against my Commanders? They're going to get like at least 8 touchdowns. Do you want to play the wide receivers or do you want to play Kyron?
I mean, you could go Stafford too. I mean, he's at 2
Oh
passing.
yeah. What's his?
Or over?
Yeah, is that what it is? 2 passing.
2 passing, or you could go 273.5 passing yards. I like both of those.
I like the higher on both.
Yeah, so do I.
Let's go yards. We've had bad luck with touchdowns. Let's go yards.
Yeah, I like that.
There's a lot of way to 274 passing yards. There's not a lot of way to 2 passing touchdowns. All right. Stephen Williams fired off a quick one. Algier or Bijan this week? Dave says Bijan. I know I go Bijan this week.
Yes, Bijan.
Yeah. I mean, Arthur Smith's dumb, but he's not that dumb.
Dave, who's your underdog pick of the week?
I like the targets higher for Amari Cooper. Like I said, 14 targets last week. He was on pace to get 8 by halftime the week before he got concussed. So
Adam up.
Oh,
yeah,
targets. There we go. 8 targets. There we go. All right, Sebastian, what you got?
Yeah, let's go. I'm gonna actually go Wan'Dale Robinson. I'm gonna go after his rush and receiving. Give me the higher on that. Similar to Jaden Reed, I like both these guys in that market because they're both involved
Rush
in
and receiving yards or
okay. Yeah, rush and receiving yards there. He's electric with the ball in his hands, so I'm really excited to watch him do what he does.
All right. Speaking of Wan'Dale Robinson, Braxton Berrios. I don't know who Pop Douglas is or Marquise Brown. Is Pop DeMario?
Yeah, DeMario Douglas.
Yep.
Who y'all like today?
Well, I mean, going off that, I like Wan'Dale. I think he's involved in the rush and receiving game. They actually threw him some deep balls last week, which that's a new wrinkle that they haven't been doing. So, and he went up and got one. We saw, I mean, if you were watching the game, he also made the catch to get him in the field goal range and lead my Giants one step closer to the playoffs. So I'm big on Wan'Dale today.
All right. For mine, Tua, we got a higher 2.25 on 0.5 fumbles lost. We saw him put 2-3 on the turf last week. He has the backup center again. The line is banged up. He's going to be thinking, he's going to be in his head, and the Jets are going to be after him. Let's go. And it's a spicy 2.25. Let's go.
That's sharp. I can't believe they're actually hanging that
for
up
those
there.
For those of y'all wondering, Tua's passing yardage is now down to 207 for the higher lower.
Yikes.
Underdog does not believe in Tua. No sign of Big Rob in anybody's mentions after these past couple weeks. Big Rob, where you at, bud? All right, one more.
Yeah.
We need one more good play here.
Who do you guys who do you guys like for Green Bay? Do you like Jaden Reed, or is there something? I'm just thinking about like banged up secondaries we can target.
We were talking about
Reed
Jaden Reed
and
earlier.
Dobbs. Yeah, I like them both. So I'm
You
cool with
wanna
whoever
hit
you guys
his-
want to go with.
his rushing receiving yards. You want to hit his fantasy points. I mean, if he pops a touchdown, he's been kind of a touchdown machine.
I like that. I like that fantasy points higher than 9.75.
Yeah, shout out to Underdog for that, because a lot of other different sites like that don't allow that, and that allows you to just be like, if I like a guy overall, I don't really need to predict exactly what he's going to do.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. All right, so our underdog entry, Matt Stafford, higher than 273.5. That's the one we're going to be sweating. That's the one all day.
See, again, if you want to change it to touchdowns,
No way.
Pick your poison.
I don't think. I mean, the Rams. Donald is questionable with the groin. Like, I think the Commanders are going to be able to put up points too. I don't think it's going to be like a Tua situation where they were playing the Commanders and they benched them in the third quarter. Like,
that's the one I think is going to be our sweat. That's the sweat right there. I think everything else is pretty much locked in. Amari Cooper higher than 8 targets. Wan'Dale Robinson higher than 38.5 rushing and receiving. Tua Tagovailoa spicy higher 0.5 fumbles lost. Jaden Reed higher 9.75 fantasy points.
damn.
All right, there we go.
45x. Let's go. We're getting rich today, boys.
Let's hope. Let's hope so. Golly. All right. Anything else? Any final parting thoughts before we go? We got to get people over to the main SGP feed. Anything at all, y'all?
just good luck this week, and let's hope we don't see any other quarterback injuries, because we're getting pretty slim on who we can actually play.
There we go. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Sebastian. And thank you for tuning into the SGPN Fantasy Lounge. Jump over Sean and Kramer on the main feed. And as always, let it ride.
Cheers, gentlemen.